Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the Sports Wave Network and Sports Corner with the Conn Man. Today, I have some outstanding guests. First and foremost, I have Dr. Heather Larkin. How you doing, Doctor?
Michael, I am doing awesome.
You know what, folks? Heather came on my show last week, a week ago, and we generated almost 3,500 views, which is 1,000 more than any other show I've ever done. So I got to give my hats off to you and thank you for coming on my show.
I had such a great time, Michael. I had such a great time. That is why I'm so excited for tonight.
So am I. We now have with us Mr. Brenden Texeira. How you doing, Brenden?
I'm great. I'm happy to be here. I'm excited.
Folks, Brenden is the founder of MHD, Mental Health Declassification, and he's doing some tremendous things. And Dr. Larkin hit me up and said, this is the guy you might have on your show. So, Heather, can you talk about how you met Brenden and why you felt it was so important for him to come on my show?
So, you know what, Michael? I truly believe people come into our lives for a reason, right? Mm-hmm. And sometimes we don't know what the reason is. Sometimes they come and they leave, and sometimes they come and they stick around. And so, every once in a while, things just happen. So I met a remarkable woman, Nay Lassiter, and she's the founder of Heavy Hearted Convos. And she does a lot of work with athletes and destigmatizing mental health. And she immediately said, you have to meet Brenden. He's going to be part of my mindfulness summit. I was like, all right, I'll meet Brenden, right? Okay, sure. And so we connected and I set up a Zoom and it was like, holy mackerel. We are like two peas in a pod now. We can finish each other's sentences. Wow. And this is just less than 2 weeks ago, right? Yeah. Literally. And so we just have some huge ideas. But what was most remarkable to me about Brenden is his personal story as an athlete who struggled with mental health. And I just thought, Saturday starts Student Athlete Mental Health Awareness Week. And so this would be the most wonderful way to kick it off with a human side to it. And so I'm not going to try to tell his story for him. I'm going to let him do that. But, there's so much that we have that we want to share tonight. So, yeah.
That is fantastic. Brenden, tell the viewers about your story.
Yeah, I mean, so let's bring it all the way back. I'm a basketball player.
Love that baby from the beginning.
I love the game of basketball. I grew up playing the game, and it was just everything to me. It was a sport where you can just go, be free, be better than people. Again, those lines, everything kind of outside noise just goes away. At a young age, I was diagnosed with dyslexia. I was put into this box where it's like, okay, you're not good at school. You're not good at reading. You're not good at writing. So for me, identifying through sports, that's just all it was. I'm going to get great at basketball. You can't tell me I can't do this, So that was my outlet. That's a safe space as a man of color. That's just where we run to. We want to make it to the NBA so we can get the big cars, the mama house, all these different things that we dream of, we watch and we see. So my sophomore year of high school, I made varsity. I was playing the sport, but I didn't know that there was much more to it, like college. I didn't know that was an option because I didn't feel like I was smart enough, all these things. Basketball is the outlet. Sophomore year, I'm on varsity, first game, 30 points. But also sophomore year, we lost our grandmother to breast cancer, who raised me. So now that emotion, those pains, those tears that I want to let out, I couldn't really do. I didn't feel like I had the safe space because I'm a man. I got to be strong. I'm good at basketball. I'm fine. I go to the gym. I'll get it out. I'll cry in the shower to myself. I won't show anybody. I won't show these emotions. Cool. Next year, junior year, same thing. Basketball star. Everything's going good. Great grandmother, stomach cancer. We lose her. And it was just like, okay, loss after loss. But again, it's not processing in my head. For me, it's like, I got basketball. I'm good. One of my close friends came up to me and was like, one night, was like, listen, I'm struggling mentally. I don't want to be here anymore. And me being ignorant, not knowing about mental health, not being educated enough, I looked at him and I was like, what are you talking about? What are stars the best? See, we have a game on Friday night. Let's go. Like, we're good. Again, ignorant, not knowing enough about it. So now I'm getting all my recruit visits. Schools coming in, all these opportunities now. I'm seeing the light of like college basketball, the dream, the goal. That's where you want to get to.
Mm-hmm.
Senior year, my mom was diagnosed with breast cancer. So boom, another hit, and it was like, okay, again, I still have basketball. I'm going to the gym. I'm not talking about these emotions. I'm not going to school and saying, oh, I lost my grandma, I lost my grandma. I'm not crying about it because that to me is soft. That's weak. That's not, I can't do that, you know? So I was at a visit in the University of Tampa with my sisters, and the coach was like, you know, very interested and things are going good. And for me, it was like, I can't do this because I'm so far from home. God forbid I was to lose my mom. I want to be close. So I ended up choosing a school that was only an hour away, so I could commute back and forth every weekend to see my mom, be with my family. My mom beat it. God bless. She's still here today. But chose a school that was close. Chose Nichols College, a D3 school. Again, I had high hopes. I wanted to go to different schools, D2, low D1, whatever. Anything I'm grateful for, though. So I get to Nichols, and I'm like, all right, I'm here. Let's do it. Let's go to national championship. Let's have some fun. Simple hill sprints preseason. When I'm coming down the hill or running down, I feel a little tweak in my knee. I was like, all right, we got a trainer now. Let's go check it out. Go to the trainers. He was like, all right, we got to get an MRI, x-rays, all that fun stuff. So I go in. The results come back. I had a torn ACL that I tore my senior year of high school. I just kept playing. I didn't know. So at that point, my kneecap ended up cracking in half, and like the bones were just rubbing together. So had to have that big surgery in my left leg. And that's my freshman year. So I'm like, okay, I'm young. I come back from this. You see it in the NBA, you know, they have better trainers, whatever. But I come back from this. Sophomore year now. Boom, first scrimmage back. Coach is like, all right, go get your starting spot back. I get out there. I'm 6 for 6 from 3. I'm hitting everything. My last shot, I come down. I twisted my right ankle so bad. And it was just like another like delay. And I was like, all right, coach, don't give up on me. He was like, I won't. Come back from that 2 weeks later. First game back against Anna Maria. I go out for a simple rebound. I come down. I tore my left ACL, my other ACL, my right ACL. So for me, it was like,
what else can happen to me, right?
Right.
I was left with like all of this, like these emotions. I was crying now. I was in my dorm crying. I couldn't hold back the tears. Like all these things that I was able to mask my whole life was just coming out of me. And it was scary. So I reached out to a friend who's a pharmacist, and I was like, is this mental health thing real? Like, can I actually get help? Like, is medication actually going to help me? And she was like, yes, like, let's help you. Let's get you on a wait list. Like, and I was like, all right. So the summer heading into my junior year, she helped me get on a wait list. So now it's like, all right, I'm going to go into therapy. I have no idea. All you see is the movies where it's like dark room, notepad, therapist is writing down your feelings, you know, the scary stuff. I have an appointment set for like May 21st. 3 days before that, May 18th, I'm driving to work. I take this left to go to work. My friends passed me in the car going this way, and it was like God telling me to go say bye. I turned the car around. I pulled up behind them as they stopped at the store, and I was like, hey, what's going on? My friend David comes out. Oh, what's up, Brenden? Like, you know, I'm getting recruited by Nichols. I'm going to come take all your shine. Like, that's how we, you know, just have fun. That's relationship.
Right.
He's like, yeah, whatever. I got to go see the trainers next week. Come with me. You can meet the coaches. 20 minutes later, 4 young men passed away in a car accident. 2 of them, which I was very close with, Paul Bear, the Davids, and like a little brother to me. And like from that moment, I missed my therapy appointment. I had to reschedule because it was just 4 weeks for a funeral of Paul Bear for David. It was just a lot. And like for me, I don't show emotions enough. So I just do. So I was like, all right, I got together with some friends. What can we do to honor them? And that's when we came up with the 4 Kings Memorial, with the flag football tournament, honor their names, and the basketball tournament. We put on that for them, gave back to the families, created scholarships in their name. So now it was finally time to get into therapy, and my therapist sits me down and she's like, talk to me, what's going on? And I was like, yeah, I tore my ACLs. She was like, well, how'd you grow up? And I was like, you know, foreign background, head down, lost my grandmother to breast cancer, then my other grandmother, then my mom was diagnosed, and then an ACL, and then another ACL, and then 4 friends in a car accident. And it was just like, oh, I didn't even think about all that stuff because to me, I was just an athlete. I was just The only thing that mattered and was significant, like pain-wise, was the fact that I couldn't play basketball. It wasn't the fact that I lost the grandmother that raised me and did all these things, and my mom had to go through all this, and I had to watch it. And that was the problem with being an athlete. So my junior year, I come back now, and I'm like, all right, I'm hard-headed. I'm an athlete. I can do this again. I get on the court. I catch the ball on the wing. A move I can do with my hands down, eyes closed. Rip down middle. Can't stop me. Go into the lane. I caught the ball and I just froze. Just dropped the basketball. It was my first severe anxiety attack. I was diagnosed with severe anxiety, PTSD, and depression. So now the thing that I love the most, the balls bouncing and the lights and the squeaking, was my worst enemy. Anytime I heard a basketball, I would shut down. Anytime I would hear the shoes squeak, I would shut down. I would break down. Like everything in my body would just tighten up, and I just would just freeze. So I loved it and I hated it so much. And then my senior year, I just got to the point where I was just so tired of it, scared of it, and again, this is all while you're in college. So think about college is just class, sports, parties, class, sports. It's just so fast. And we're the best team on campus. We're winning championships. We won 4 years straight when I'm there. So just think about me stopping and talking to a friend and being like, I'm mentally struggling. It just doesn't happen. It's not a safe space for athletes to do so. So my senior year, I had a single dorm. I shut the door. I poured the pills in the bed. I put them all in my mouth. And as I'm going to shut my phone off, my friend from my sophomore year calls me. The one that got me into therapy and basically saved my life in that moment. And was just like, all right, talk to me. Let's get to the hospital. So that moment is when I went to the hospital for the first time, checking myself in to basically get the help that I needed and wanted to get. And it took me the first day I was in there, I was like, yeah, I don't care about this. I'm not doing this. But the second day I was like, all right, this is about me. It's not about anybody else. I have to come to terms with what I'm struggling with. Forget the outside world. I'll reconnect when I need to. And I got in there. I did the work that I needed to do. And literally by day 3, day 4, I was like, all right, when I get out of here, I'm starting a nonprofit mental health declassified. We're going to come out and create a safe space for individuals. So I got out. And it's 2020. I just started this whole thing. And the goal is just to start a podcast where I get individuals to come share their stories, and it will just trickle down. So me meeting you today, Michael, you come on my podcast, you share your story, your friends will hear it, it will trickle down. They'll be like, oh, you opened up. Hey, man, I've been struggling with that too. That was the goal of it. And the attraction just grew so much. It was like, all right, we can do events now. So now think of community events where we're not forcing mental health in your face, but we're creating a safe space. So now Mental Health Declassified just becomes an umbrella for all things mental health, So now we're hosting paint nights, women empowerment paint nights, spoken word, anything you name it, we're going to do it. Yoga, mental health. So just creating that safe space. And I founded this organization and put everything into it. And my goal is just to create a safe space for everybody around me, and especially talk to the athletes, because we got to be strong. We got to be leaders. We got to be captains. But at the end of the day, we literally just have to be human. So that's a little bit about me. A lot of it about me. That's my story and why I do what I do. And I'm grateful to just be here, have this platform.
And you know what, Michael? That's just the perfect example of how, when we say we have no idea what's going on underneath the jersey, right? You see the number on the jersey, you see the back of the name on the jersey, you know what they're capable of and what their stats are and who they are. We have no idea what's happening in their minds and in their bodies, right? And when you're raised, Brenden was telling me earlier, when he was 3rd grade and his coaches were just be a man.
Man up.
Man, right.
And we acknowledge that, back then, back when we were a little younger, coaches didn't know what they didn't know. But we're here today because that has to change. It has to change. And
we muted.
Yeah, I think she's coming. I think.
Here I go. Okay.
All right, here we go.
So the statistic, this is from the Center of Sports Policy and Conduct. In 2022, I'm sorry. This is a 20-year span, but still, from 2002 to 2022, 128 NCAA athletes died by suicide. Among college, this is from the Center of same thing, Center of Sports Policy and Conduct. Among college athletes, suicide is the second leading cause of death after accidents.
So now it's like that whole sports performance part. It's like if I can't perform, if I'm not there mentally, I can't perform. If I can't perform, then I'm a letdown. I'm a failure. And if I'm a failure, like what's my purpose? My whole thing when I got injured was like I had no identity. I had nothing to me. There was nothing I was good at. There was nothing I wanted to do. Like it was literally just like, oh, basketball's gone. What am I here for then? What am I here for?
Yes,
It's scary.
Yep. Now, Doctor, what made you decide to collaborate with Brenden? Because you guys got a big thing upcoming. Can you talk about that?
The Mindfulness Summit?
Yes.
Yeah, so that's November 30th. And this is Nay Lassiter's Heavy Hearted Convo. She's like the one behind this. And so Brenden and I will both be presenting there. And, you know, we want to challenge athletes from all over the state to attend. It's a free event. It's at the Dorchester Brewery on Sunday, November 30th from 1 to 5 p.m.
Mm-hmm.
And it is just going to be a host of professionals and athletes who have been there and done that. And it's a safe place. And so, you know, I'm working real hard to get a team from New Bedford up there, right? So, but, you know, that is huge. We have so many other ideas that are going on. But, you know, I think for this upcoming week, you know, we have to challenge people. We have to challenge parents. We have to challenge coaches. We have to challenge schools and athletic directors to start not being so afraid to have these conversations and to create a culture in their school where no one's judged, because Brenden was just saying, everybody's got something, right?
True.
Everybody's got something going on. And so if we continue to, you know, send messages to athletes that you got to push it down, push it down, push it down, someday it's going to explode.
Exactly.
And, you know, and we don't want that to happen.
Yeah, the common trend is just like, you know, I got this athlete for 4 years. Let me get everything out of them and then push them along. And who cares what happens after that, you know? So if I have them in high school, if I'm so hard on them and they crack in college, it won't be my problem. And that needs to stop. It needs to change.
Now, Brenden, right? You know me, I keep it a buck. As Doc will tell you. If I'm a high school student, you know, like all the things that you spoke about earlier about I got to be a man, I'm a tough guy and all that, you know, and your coaches are drilling you a man up. How would you get the most, like you said, it's a safe environment you guys are trying to portray. How can you have someone who might be in that mix about, hey, man, I got to be a man, I got to be tough, I got to do this, I can't show no emotion. How can you get them to feel that it is a safe environment, that they can come out of this shell, that they can be open about it like you are?
You just got to be a player coach. I think a lot of times it starts and stops on the court, and coaches won't do the extra work. Like there's no extra like, oh, hey, how you doing in that class? Or hey, how you doing? Like just be a person, be a safe space. As soon as you show that, like, okay, this person is not just on my ass in the fourth quarter. They actually care about me. Like that's when you're going to get more out of your athlete. That's when they're going to feel comfortable. Like you don't have to go and beg athletes, and it's going to take a lot out of a person to open up at first. But just literally just show them that you're there. One of the best college coaches I had, and he just made it a purpose to like just be a person. Like, hey, Brenden, hey, Tex, like, how you doing in that other class? Like, what any other clubs you're a part of? Like, oh, you actually care about that. So now when you're yelling at me in the court, it's nothing but love, because it's a respect thing. Like now that I know that you respect me, this like you getting on my ass in practice and doing all this thing, and like it's like, all right, let's just be the best. Like you're just pushing me to be the best. And then after the game, we could chop it up. We can just be human. So again, I think just being personable, asking athletes the extra questions, you know, that are out of your job salary or description, you know, just be a person and be there.
And you know what, too? I think coaches, I don't know if I think I did talk about it on the last show, Michael, like the pending bill in the Mass House around the mandate to train youth coaches in understanding more mental health. And I think that's so crucial and so critical, because even if a coach simply just learns what are some red flags I need to look out for,
That is so
changes
important.
in behavior,
Mm.
being that player coach and knowing what their grades are, and oh, there's a dip in grades, or you seem a little bit less attentive, right? You look like you're kind of in a fog, like what's going on, and not be afraid of what the answer is, because coaches are not going to be expected to be therapists, but if they can recognize it and they know this is who we can have Brenden talk to, this is who Heather will probably work really well with, and that's so huge. And that's why I feel like, for me, with All In and Beyond the Game, my dual lens to be able to bring them in with mental performance, right? And because the younger athletes will say, oh, well, Steph's got a mental performance coach. Oh, I'm cool. I have one too.
Mm.
Right.
Right.
And then I can get into the mental health, because it does take time.
Yeah.
It takes time. And athletes need someone who understands athletes.
Yeah.
I think that's so important. I'm not saying that non-athletic therapists and mental performance, I'm sure they're fine.
Mm-hmm.
But for me, when I was an athlete, I needed to know they understood the way an athlete's brain works.
Yeah, I think you're right. Like, you're right. Like, even for me, when I seek a therapist, I would want someone of color. I want someone that acknowledges, like, that knows what I've been, different things and different backgrounds. So it all makes sense, and I think it's all valuable, and it's really needed.
I think it's important too, because Dr. Larkin, she works with professional athletes as well, and I think it's important for the youth to understand that just because you're in the NBA or Major League or sports, whatever, they still have mental issues as well. And I think that is so important, because they think, well, he's in the NBA, he's making all this money. You know what I mean? And I think it's really good that what you guys are doing, because it sends a message to the young people that just because you made it to the epitome of sports, that there's going to be issues to deal with. I think it's very important what you guys are doing.
Exactly.
Brenden and I were talking about earlier, like, who are some athletes who are in this venue right now, and we were talking about previous athletes, and back in the day, Dennis Rodman had some issues.
Yes, I would say so.
However, no one understood it, right?
Right.
So, and for some people, they're like, oh no, he was insane. Other people are like, no, he was just showing a side of creativity, which is also frowned upon.
Right.
For athletes,
Mhm.
right? So, I think that, and then we were talking about Kyrie. I was at the game when his sister was killed in an accident, in a car accident. And he played, and I forget, what did he get? Didn't he get like something outrageous, like 40 or 50, like something ridiculous?
But that was, I think it was like 40. I think it was Isaiah Thomas.
Was it?
I think it was Isaiah Thomas.
Oh, do I have the whole wrong person?
Because that's when he got traded after.
Yes.
Yeah, I think. And that was like 40. He was going insane.
And so, people just don't understand. When people don't understand, they judge.
That's true. Very true.
And then they judge because, like you were just saying, like, what do you mean you're sad? Mm. You're making $40 million. How can you be sad?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mental health doesn't discriminate based on a checkbook.
Not at all. Not at all.
Yeah. Just a simple thing of, like, especially like again, athletes. Obviously on the topic, like, you twist an ankle, tie it tighter. You tweak a finger, you sprain a finger, put some tape on it, like, get through it, figure it out. But like that mental aspect, like the mind is very strong, and that's something you can't just put a Band-Aid on. You have to acknowledge it. You have to figure out what you need to do with it, and get the help you need so you can perform at a higher level, so it's tough.
I remember working at Eddie Roderick's camp, And I was reffing or something at the time, and this, and I don't know, no, this was a different year, but something happened, and the kid just lost his marbles. You didn't call that. Like, I'm like, are you bleeding? And then he was like, no. I was like, then it wasn't a foul. But even like we don't know what we don't know until we know it.
Right.
And so we have to help people know it. And you know what? And that's the job.
Yeah.
Now that I have both you here now, we talked about the youth. Now, I always bring up this topic because I feel it's important. We talk about how the coaches should be able to identify if there's issues or not. What about the parents?
Again, you got to do the work. You got to want to do the work. I feel like a lot of parents right now are so stuck in like I'll speak from my experience. I don't know all parents. I'm sure there's great parents out there. And there's a lot of great parents. But a lot of parents are stuck in like I had it worse than that. You'll be all right. Or you get over it, like you be fortunate that you're able to play the sport. All right, pay for that. Or I get you the shoes. And it's like, okay, I get it. But no, I'm literally just struggling and I need a safe space. And again, kids are also scared of talking to their parents because it's like another form of a coach where you have to be perfect for them. You have to show this best side. You don't want to be vulnerable. You don't want to seem weak in front of them either. So a lot of just trying to be personable and like still holding that like parent standard. Like you got to respect me, but like there's different approaches with kids. And like right now I'm seeing a lot of it where it's like parents will have no idea that their kids are going through X, Y, and Z because the kid doesn't feel comfortable targeting them whatsoever. And like for those kids that struggle, where we go, we find coaches, and then coaches treat us like shit sometimes. So then we go find something else. And then a lot of the times it's like, it's not going from a parent to a coach. It's going from a parent to like a bad decision. So these need to be caught early before kids start spiraling in bad directions.
You know what else I see, Michael, in parents is kind of the opposite, right? They make excuses, right? So, and maybe, that adds pressure too, but, it's like, not my kid, right? Yes, your kid. Your kid is doing it too, right? Don't fool yourself, right?
Exactly.
And so, and then you have the parents who are like, my kid can do no wrong. He should be, he's going to get that scholarship and he's going to be the man and all this other stuff. And it's just like Brenden said, like, just enjoy watching your kid play. Because if they get to high school, if they're one of the 7% that I talked about last time that actually play in high school, or the 1.7% that go on to play at college, be thankful. That's awesome. And just love it regardless. Right. And, I think that's a huge issue too. So,
what I think too is that it's so important to be able to recognize some of the issues that our youth have. And what I want to ask is, what kind of message do you both want to send? Because, right now, thanks to Dr. Larkin, we have, about 4,000 people tuning in. So, what message is it that you guys want to convey to the audience?
Yeah, for me, when I go speak to schools or kids or anybody, I just give a simple message of don't limit yourself, your higher up, whoever you believe in, to one thing. I feel like a lot of the times us athletes, we're tunnel vision to this one sport and it got to be this way or the highway. Like it's like we're here and we don't know anything else.
Right.
And there's so many beautiful things in this world that we can grow and create and be a part of. And for me, it was like dyslexia, anything smart, anything reading, anything writing, it's not possible. So for me, it was like basketball. That's it. If I'm not good at this, identity's crushed for me. After that, I was telling Dr. Larkin, like the injury was like the biggest blessing and curse at the same time because it forced me to like dabble into different things. It hurt me. It broke me. I lost myself, but I was able to now look at different things, start a nonprofit. I just wrote a book. I'm winning all these mental health awards, these advocate awards. I'm speaking on stages. I'm speaking to schools. I'm speaking to corporate companies. All these things that like public speaking, me, no. Writing a book, no. Like these things as a little kid, I never dreamed about. In 2020, COVID hit. I started screen printing. I started making stickers for the business. I started a podcast. All these different things that was just, I was so tunnel vision to just basketball. So my message is just don't limit yourself to one thing. Play the sport, love the sport, be great at the sport. But if you want to play the trumpet, play the trumpet. If you want to draw on the side, draw. If you want to be a part of different clubs, be a part of different clubs. Because again, it's really tough to make it to that next level, to the league, to all these different things, which you still can and have a hobby. So don't limit yourself, love yourself, and just know that you're enough. That's for me.
Yeah. And too, we're talking about student athletes because it's Student Athlete Mental Health Awareness. February is Athlete Mental Health Awareness Week. And even with, pros, especially retirees, right? That's another loss of identity.
Absolutely.
Like, who am I now, right? And so they have to kind of, because they've grown, they've gotten through their whole professional career by being tough, by shoving it down, right? And now they're faced with what the hell is happening to me right now, because no one's singing my praises right now, and I'm not, on billboards, and I'm not doing this, and I'm not like, so who the hell am I? Because I've always just been my sport.
Yeah.
And that's mental health kicks in, substance abuse kicks in, gambling, another addiction kicks in. Like, it just compounds it if we don't have the ability to understand that the way that we're thinking needs to be thought about, and we got to ask for help, or we have to take advantage of the help that's offered, because that's how we grow. That's how we get better. And it takes a village sometimes, right? Even for adults. I had one pro tell me, people just don't realize pros are sad.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I know.
What's great that you two go to various schools and speak on that, because, I wish I had that when I was younger. Do you know what I mean? It's so imperative. And that's why I was so honored to have Dr. Larkin on my show, because she gave a view that a lot of people probably weren't aware of, and how important mental health is. And you hear about it all over the country now, because people doing killings, and mental health is really a big issue. And I can't thank you both enough for coming on my show. I think it's so important.
Thank you so very much.
Thank you a lot. It's huge, and just having different perspectives and having different guests, like just being able to have this platform and me being on it, I appreciate it greatly.
Well, you guys are both great. Dr. Larkin, again, I want to thank you so much for coming on my show last time, because it was so important, and you got so many views. So obviously people are tuning in and realizing how important mental health is. And the way you explained everything was you broke it down very easily. And I think that's what caught people's eye. And it was a great thing that you did. That show was pretty damn good, if you ask me. But, can you let people know, Brenden, how they can get in touch with you? Talk about your book a little bit. Anything you want. Hey, this is about you.
I haven't released the book yet, but it's a memoir. I want to get on a speaking tour again. My whole thing is like turning pain into purpose. So everything that I've been through, just bringing light into it. My book's a memoir. It's gonna be about my whole story and just like the behind the scenes stuff. But you can find me at Mental Health Declassified on all platforms. We have a YouTube. We're getting back into the community. We're doing like pop-up interview questions in the community, creating safe spaces. We're looking to do a lot of fun stuff soon. We have a women empowerment dance program as well, where young women can come and express themselves to music, as young as 3-year-olds to 17-year-olds. So we have a social media presence. We're big on Instagram. Anywhere, Mental Health Declassified, all platforms.
That is tremendous. Dr. Larkin, now I know why you wanted me to have him on the show. That's for sure. But
Yep, exactly.
Appreciate it.
Yes.
Just to
Dr. Larkin,
begin.
even though everyone else knows by now, can you let the people know about how they can get in touch with you again and, whatever you want to say?
Absolutely. So, I have a network of people. Brenden and I both have a network of people who we can put young people in touch with, right?
That's great.
And so you can reach out to Brenden, Mental Health Declassified. They can reach out to me at the All In Mental Performance Counseling and Mental Performance, theallinpro.com, and on Instagram, what am I? Allin_mental performance. And so all I need is a DM or an email or a phone call. Let us know what's going on, and we will help you figure it out.
That's fantastic. I mean, it's great. Brenden, I'm so impressed with you, man. You got me a little bit speechless, which is unusual for me. But you know what I mean? But again, I want you to where do you see your ventures going in like 5 years? What do you really want out of what you're doing right now? What do you see? What's going to be important to you to make you realize that it was successful?
Yeah, I mean, for me, I think because as an athlete, I was winning awards all the time, whether it was MVPs or the game. Like I was winning all these different things. So like coming into this mental health space, it was like, well, there's no accolades, And then I started winning awards for just speaking and going places, and it was cool. But for me, it's really just like the life-changing stuff. Like when people DM me and be like, "Hey, I clicked on your IG live on accident, and I had no business being there, but just seeing your face saved my life tonight. Like I'm in a better place now. Being able to help individuals. So I feel like I hit my peak already. I help people every day, no matter what it is. There will never be anything greater than helping somebody in their day-to-day life. I want to get on a tour again. I want to speak at schools. I want to continue to create this safe space for individuals, and also start my own like storytelling agency where I can help athletes then and kids then share their stories, because everyone has a story. That's just people don't want to listen. So if I can create that safe space where everyone feels safe sharing, we have so many people to learn from, and I learn every day from someone. I have interns that I learn from, and like my whole business model is like, come into this company and teach me. Let's work together. I'm not the CEO where it's like, you're doing this. I'm bringing in interns and I'm like, you have the keys to the social media because I don't know that world. You have the keys to this because I don't know that world, but you're going to show me how to impact it, how to reach your network, how to grow. So I just, again, ultimate safe space. I want to open up this huge building that's like a YMCA Boys and Girls Club on steroids. I want people to come in there, feel safe. I want to have people learning how to make podcasts, people learning how to edit shows, how to do event planning. I want to just do anything and everything. So that's my goal, I guess.
And he's a new dad.
Oh, congratulations.
Yes.
Congratulations.
It's 6 weeks here is like, and it's like my biggest purpose. Like I feel like every day I'm finding a new purpose and like sees everything and more. Like, so everything that I've ever been through, it's like, it's my mission now to just help that next person, because like I was so close to giving everything up when I have so much love behind me. My family's amazing. My friends, my teammates, my coaches, you guys are amazing. Like, and I wouldn't be here and have these opportunities if I just gave up because of a sport, So it's really important to invest in yourself. You tear your ACL, you go get the surgery. But we struggle mentally, we hide. We got to take care of our engine. When that check light comes in our car, we go straight to the oil change. We figure it out. So why not, when we feel these in our mind, are we taking care of ourselves? So
I have so many parents who are against medication for mental health issues, and it's going to stunt their growth and like things like that. Like I hear these things all the time, and I'm like, if your child had a heart condition, would you let them take that medicine? Well, yeah. If your child has asthma,
that's true.
Does he have an inhaler? Well, of course. So then why do we let the most vital part of ourselves go without assistance, right? It doesn't make sense,
It's backwards. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's great. Another thing I was thinking about while you guys were talking, You had mentioned you guys go to the different various schools. I was just thinking, it came across my mind, you know, here in New Bedford, we have the New Bedford Boys and Girls Club. And, you know, we have the great executive director, Robbie Mendes. Now, a lot of kids go to boys club, places like that, you know, and that's where their upbringing, a lot of it is. And so many people, because Robbie's been there like over 45 years. So he has been a role model for these kids for so long, but I bet not so much with the mental aspect of it. I think you guys can reach that level of youth as well, because a lot of parents drop their kids off there, and a lot of kids grow up in the Boys and Girls Club. You know what I mean? Yes. So that's just part of my mind. That's what I was thinking about.
No,
so that age group is so amazing to me. And so, you know, a lot of they don't know that they're anxious, right? They don't know that you know, kids are mad, sad, or bad, right? Like, I feel bad, I feel mad, I feel sad. Right. That's about it. And so I created a program called The Hero Within for kids like ages 5 to maybe 11 or 12.
Yes.
And I take, you know, the whole concept of superheroes, because what kid that age doesn't know superheroes, right? And they create their superpowers that are going to combat their mental villains: self-doubt, anxiety, fear, guilt, you know, sadness, all of these things. And they create, like, what's my uniform? What's my superpowers? How do I combat my mental villains? We teach them breathing. We teach them, you know, how to reframe a negative thought if they have a negative thought. And they create almost an alter identity, right? Because with that alter identity, like Kobe's Black Mamba, when he stepped onto the court, you know, I heard an interview with him. He's like, I'm a really nice guy until I step onto the court.
This is true.
Right? And
this is true.
Teaching kids, you can feel what you feel, and you should, right? Don't try to smush it down, but no, you have superpowers to combat that. And so when they step onto the court or into the field or into the pool, their superpowers overcome those mental villains telling them, I can't do this. I suck, right? And so there's something like that's so important, because those are life lessons that kids that age are not learning at all.
Now, I wanted to bring up a point with you two, because listen to you guys, so many things are going through my mind. And here's another one. One of my best friends in the world is Eric Brittle, former NBA referee, great player, owns 2 bounce back boards, the whole 9. He thought back in the day, and he developed a whole program dealing with something we haven't spoken about yet, bullying. And you know what I mean? I think that might have a major aspect as well with the mental, with the youth, because if they're getting bullied, that might be low self-esteem and things of that nature. How would you guys go about handling that situation?
Well, I mean, I have a young athlete right now. He's a football player. He's a lineman, freshman in high school, a lineman, and his peers are calling him fat. You know, I mean, so even athletes get whatever they might say, they're being teased, or it's just boys, or it's all in jest or fun.
Right.
No, it's freaking awful, right?
It is.
We beat the shit out of ourselves enough. We don't need other people doing it too. And so that's just part of the building the culture, right? Like building the culture of that's not accepted here. That's not how we do things. Hi, Nay. Sky. It's like, hey, Nay.
Yeah. Sky's trying to share her point here, but yeah. No, it's definitely it's a big thing, and for me, I always just try to include everybody. As a leader, as a captain, when I was like just making sure kids knew that it wasn't just like a basketball player, like helping out anyone. Like, and I would tell when I leave schools, I'm like, listen, if someone drops their books in the hallways and they break down and start crying, it's not that they dropped their books in the hallway that made them start crying. You don't know what happened on Monday at home. You don't know what's happening on Tuesday at home. It's just like that something happens and they just broke down. It's like that final, like, oh my God, this too. So just being mindful of not knowing what someone's going through, and just ask the extra questions, or just simply ask, like, hey, what do you need from me as a friend? Like, I don't
Branden,
have the words.
tell him about that kid in the weight room. This is so, and this is a lesson that I hope every athlete takes to heart and emulates this. Go ahead.
Yeah. So, I mean, in the weight room, I guess, like, I don't remember this story, but somebody had mentioned me on Facebook and was just like, hey, thank you for that time where you took the time to, like, step away from your team and, like, teach me how to work out, kind of thing. Cause, like, everyone has their cliques and their teams and their captains and their groups, whatever. And again, I don't remember this moment, but he shared it with me and said, like, I stepped away and I went, like, I helped him lift and, like, teach him the proper form and X, Y, and Z. And this wasn't an athlete. This wasn't anyone in my friend group, but, like, again, anyone could have been my friend. I'm a safe space for all. I try to help, not to say I've been the best person. I'm sure being an athlete got to me, and I'm sure I was mean to somebody, but this is spaces where you can learn from and grow from. But I know I was never just a straight up asshole to people because of stature. But bullying is real, and it happens too out of, that inner whatever you're going through. So, let me go be mean to someone else because I can't face what I'm going through. So that's a lot of where it comes from too.
Hmm.
And it's a form of deflect. You know what I mean? They deflect it. You know what I mean? Get people not look at them, but others. I think that's important too.
Right.
I mean, but
scary.
It can be. It can be. Dr. Larkin, tell the viewers, even though they know about you already, because you stole the damn show last time you came on. Let the viewers know exactly, what your goals are as far as the program you guys are developing, and what do you want people to get out of it? What do you want people to get out of this show?
Out of this show, I want people to get out of this show. I want it to spark some urgency, and I want it to spark urgency, everywhere that athletes are. Buttonwood Park, the Boys and Girls Club, Denison, right? All those places. I want there to be such a common language and common culture that, and I think I said it last time, like Massachusetts leads the country in education and medical, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing to say we can't lead the country in prioritizing athletes' mental health and forming a whole commonwealth of like-minded individuals who get it and who want to help. Because think about it this way. If athletes who are always, looked at as the leaders in schools, that's why the stigma is so great, because they're expected to be better and bigger and more confident. And so if they can open up and start discussing it, it's going to trickle down. Like Brenden was talking about the trickle down effect. Others are going to be like, oh my God, Brenden Texeira can talk about his mental health. I can too, right? And so I think that's what I want. But I think for me, like, of course, I'm starting, this is my area, Greater New Bedford. I don't want there ever to be a young athlete, especially those who are coming from disadvantaged homes or, areas of poverty or single families, right, that don't have the means to get those extra skills lessons with Brian Rudolph, who doesn't have the insurance that so-and-so takes. That can't be a reason. We have to level the playing field for these kids. And let's be honest, typically it's the young men of color, right? Young men and women of color who don't have the same access to those that, their counterparts do up in Wellesley and Weston.
This is true.
Right? And so that's my hope, is that it doesn't matter what zip code you're in. If you need help will be there, right?
That's so very true. Brenden, again, I'm so proud of the work that you're doing as well. What would you say to the youth that are watching right now, and there'll probably be quite a few? What views or something that you can impart on these young men and women, young girls and boys, to be able to recognize that they might have a mental issue? Because maybe they don't know, like you said, what they don't know, they don't know. So maybe what can you do to inform other viewers about, the young youth or whatever, how they can maybe recognize and realize that they do have a mental issue? And, another thing I wanted to bring up too, just because now here's another stigma too. Okay, I'm fine. My mind and my mental was all great. I didn't have any injuries, no accidents, but I'm not good enough. I'm just not good enough. And then everything else, maybe my peers, some of them are really good, and and coming to the grip where I'm not that good. You know what I mean? And others around me are better. How would you? And that to me can be a stigma as well. I was fortunate enough. I was legit. But I mean, when you have someone, I'm not keeping it real. But with someone who may not, with someone who, I'll give you an example. Now, Branden, you said you play as a freshman. What about if I try for the freshman team and all my peers made it? Because you know what happens. Usually there's a list of who makes the team and who doesn't. And, that could be traumatic. You know what I mean? And
that last trial is traumatic when everyone's
you know what I mean?
names
off as well. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I mean, I would just say, we all have performance anxiety. We're all anxious as athletes. We all can lie and be like, I get out there, I'm straight. No, you're not, which is fine. That's the athlete. That's the fun part about it. I would just say, start with who you surround yourself with and who you can have conversations with. I mean, if you're not in a safe space, or you don't have a friend group, or your peers aren't a space where you can be like, yo, we killed it on Friday, we won that game, cool, but are you able to have the deeper conversations? Everyone's struggling. I mean, you don't have to identify it so hard, I guess, and try to, label yourself with depression or anxiety, but it can just be as simple as I'm anxious a lot. I have a little bit of anxiety. It doesn't have to be anything major. Just be real with yourself. I feel a lot of the time we try to just hide and lie to ourselves. That's just, I got butterflies before a game. That's all it is. No, you're anxious. It's cool. You're anxious when you take tests. You're anxious when you do this. You're anxious of feeling. You're anxious as a human because society tells you you have to be X, Y, and Z. So all of us have a little bit of anxiety. So just being real with yourself. Just be real with yourself. Look yourself in the mirror and be like, all right, can I face this and be a better athlete? Can I face this and be a better person? Because the moment you do, you will start being better.
Now, Doctor, the last show you said something. I mean, you said a lot of great things, but something that really stood out with me, and you talked about it. You said the front seat and the back seat, and you talked about the parents with the kid, after the kid may have had a bad game, and how, damn it, you should have did this, you did, and then talk about that, because that to me really sunk in.
So, and I'll tie it into mental health also, because, it doesn't necessarily mean the athlete has to have mental health issues, right? They can just experience difficult situations that, don't rise to the level of a diagnosable condition. But that doesn't mean that they don't experience some negative symptomology that gets in their way. And so on the dreaded car rides home, right, after a bad performance, when I talk about I've never met an athlete who didn't know they messed up, right? I've never met an athlete who didn't know exactly what they messed up on, right? So they're already feeling bad. They're already self-deprecating and telling themselves they suck and all of this stuff. So when the parent goes in on them, it's just validating those negative thoughts. It's just validating for them. See, even dad says I suck. Even mom thinks I'm a loser because because they won't stop saying it. Right.
That's
and
true.
so, that's it just gets back to the best thing parents can do is just tell kids, like, I just love watching you play. I'm so proud of you for your effort. And, I'm here for you. If you need me, I'm here. If you don't need me, fly, young person, fly, right? And that's all we can really ask for. And that doesn't mean I'm guilty of it too. That doesn't mean parents just want their kids to get better. But
Right. Mm-hmm.
right, they want them to improve. They think they're helping. And so the three things I just tell, if you change these things, you can still talk to them about the problem, like about their mistakes. Watch your tone of voice, right? Don't sound like you're attacking, right? Invite the conversation. Don't force the conversation, right? Hey, how do you feel about that game, your performance? Do you want to talk about it now or do you want to talk about it later? Right? Okay, you don't want to talk about it now? That's good. What do you want to eat? Right? Let's go get something to eat. So that the child's not internalizing it as there's something wrong with me. And that's where I think kids feel like get so worked up that I'm not good enough, because those are the messages that are getting sent to them. And I would tell a child, you know what? We all have strengths and weaknesses, right? We all are highly confident in some areas and lack confidence in other areas. Maybe this is not your best, your best thing, but you're so great in so many ways. So don't let a bad game or not being in the starting lineup, shake your confidence, because you're amazing.
Yeah. Oh man, I can only I remember bad games. It was like I would eat. I would be like, I'm a fit. My mom was like, it's okay, I'm proud of you. Like, Mom, shut up. It's like you gotta have that safe space. And that's one thing I always appreciate with my mom. It's like she's always gonna be like, no, I was like, yeah, you did amazing. Like she was that. Like she wasn't that hard. Like my dad was a hard one. Like that's which is fine. Like, but my mom was.
Well,
like,
she had to compensate for him.
Yeah, my mom was like, you're amazing, you're amazing. And like at the time, it pissed me off. Like, Mom, no, I missed that layup, I missed that whatever. But it's like it also created such a great relationship for us, because now when I was struggling or I am struggling, I can go right there and feel safe, feel that space. Obviously as athletes, we're going to hold ourselves accountable. We're going to be mad at ourselves. We're going to not want the nice, tender love, but we need it more than we know.
Damn, this hour went by so quick, man. You guys, I could talk to you till midnight. But in closing, what would you guys like to say to end the show and to let the viewers know, again, one more time, how they get in touch with you? And, Dr. Larkin's coming on again on the 24th. But, anything you guys want to convey to the audience?
Yeah. So, we're both, having a nonprofit is one of the most difficult jobs ever.
Oh,
right?
Absolutely.
Because you have this vision and this mission that you yourself feel is so undeniable, right? Like, who can't get behind this? And so, but then you start, trying to raise money so that you can provide all these things for free. And you're writing grants, and you get, like, it's hard for us as nonprofit leaders also to not get inside our own heads, like, oh, is this important? Right? Like, why didn't I get that funding? Why isn't anybody getting behind me? And so, I think for me, like, seeing a community get behind us and, support us so that we can get into schools, because schools have their budget issues and their constraints also, but that can't be an excuse. We need to be able to, and I know Brenden does, and I know I do. We do a lot of pro bono stuff because it's just who we are, number one, but it's also, we're not going to turn anybody away. But, to have a community get behind us. And, so I urge anybody, business owners, families who are looking to, make donations to a good cause, to reach out to us and to, let's talk about how we can create something. And I challenge people to be like, you know what, Dr. Larkin, I want you and Brenden to go present at this school, and we will cover it. Right? That would be beautiful to me.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I love that. That's beautiful. My message is invest in yourself. Invest in your mind, invest in you as a human, and just be human. Keep it as simple as that for me to close it out. Just be human. Don't be a Superman. Don't be a Superwoman. You're emotional, talk about it. If you got something going on, talk about it. Reach out to a friend. Don't be scared to bother somebody. Don't feel like a burden. You matter. Your mental health is important. You're a priority. You're special. You're beautiful. You're strong. You're human. Just be human. That's all I got.
That's great. Again, I want to thank you both for coming on. I believe it's so very important to develop mental performance, and it's so it can empower you as well. That's why I want you guys on the show. You guys have an open invitation to come on my show anytime, because I believe it's so important, and you guys are making a difference, and you guys are making a positive impact on our youth, and I'm so proud of both of you. And I want to thank you guys for coming on my show, and you guys have been great. Thank you so very, very much.
Thank you, Michael.
Thank you for the space you create.
Yes.
Thank you so very much, guys. You guys had a great night. Thank you very much, folks. I want to thank my guests, Dr. Heather Larkin and Brenden Texeira, for coming on my show. We realize how important mental health is, and Dr. Larkin will be coming on my show on the 24th, so tune in for that as well. Again, I want to thank them guys for coming on my show. It's been great having them on. I think what they're doing is so impactful, and I just want to thank them for coming on. Now, tomorrow night, we have a great guest, also another doctor. Anyway, his name is Mike Jarvis, a former coach of BU St. John's, George Washington, and he coached Pat Ewing when he was at Cambridge Vigilance. So that's going to be a great show. So tune in tomorrow night, 6 p.m., when my guest will be Mike Jarvis. Again, I want to thank everyone.
Rocking and rolling, Michael.
I'm trying.
You are all in.
I want to thank you guys for tuning in to Sports Wave Network and my show, Sports Corner with the Conn Man. You all have a great night. See you tonight and tomorrow night at 6 p.m. God bless you guys.
Bye-bye.
Have a great night, everyone. Thank you so much.